the nose, the mouth. Blood or body fluids, of course, including urine, saliva, sweat, feces, vomit, breast milk, and semen of a person who's sick with Ebola. So if you come into contact in an open area, and objects like needles that have been contaminated with the virus can spread it. And it says here, infected fruit bats or primates like apes and monkeys, I guess wild animals, can spread it as well.
Note to self, no fucking monkeys this month.
Yeah, stay away from the monkeys.
No monkeys. Okay. Got that off the list.
Wow.
Oh, well, because it sounds kind of like Ebola is AIDS. You're not going to catch it unless you're sleeping with somebody or getting into their bodily fluids or getting blood on you. And they still go in there.
Much.
They still go in there like they're talking about SARS, something that's a respiratory, in the air. They still go in there with these full hazmat suits with breathers and all. Have you seen this?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like they're fucking with the T virus. It's like they're dealing with something that's completely. And I don't see any rationale in any of what's going on, especially if it's only transmitted through. You said blood, semen, or mucus.
Yeah, bodily
right?
fluids. Absolutely.
Yeah, or the sores. Because I know later on in Ebola, doesn't the sores start opening up on your skin?
Apparently, yes. Yeah.
It does get bad. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah,
The symptoms get really bad. But, if you feel like you have Ebola, you're going to know that you have Ebola because you're going to know something's not right. This isn't a normal flu-like symptom. This isn't a normal nausea. I've been puking for 6 days. That's not Ebola. That's a kidney stone. Calm down,
Yeah.
People they're going nuts over this. And I feel like I'm tired of people just being mindlessly driven by the TV. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I don't see it spreading like it is over in Africa. Of course, they don't have the same safety,
they don't have
rubber gloves or whatever the case might be.
Well, they do have that over there, but the problem is they don't know what the fuck a shower is. It's running water over your body. It's not hard. You use soap, you use water, you clean yourself off at least every couple of days, especially if you're walking around without any shoes on. All I'm saying is the hype is too much, man. Can't deal with it much longer.
But I don't see it becoming a major problem here in our country. I'm hoping anyway. But
well, I know it's still skyrocketing the sales for antibiotics and for the medicine that they're just trying to test on it. It's also the hype is definitely skyrocketed sales in a bunch of other markets too. The doomsday prepper market, apparently that's skyrocketed by almost $100 million in the first month of this Ebola scare over just when it started in Africa, not even here. And then the antibacterial gel that you buy, the little hand sanitizer stuff that you buy.
That's like 99% killing germs.
Oh yeah, man, and a couple of squirts in the mouth, and all of a sudden you're drunk. It's good stuff. But anyway, plus you can light it on fire really easy. Anyway, that stuff is skyrocketed in sale according to the Washington Examiner here. And apparently people think alcohol kills the Ebola virus on your skin. And I'm just not understanding that. But hey, it like I said, I think that it's overhyped. Dead 100%.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's maybe a deflection of other things that we should be focusing on, kind of like a bait and switch kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Well, there's probably multiple reasons why it's being hyped up, but once again, like I tell Jay all the time, stop watching the media on the TV, man. If you're watching news on it, because he gets a couple articles off the internet that are better than whatever he's watching on TV. Because I know even Fox is still paid for by a multinational conglomerate, and they're feeding you and everybody else that listens to the news complete and total lies. That's just what they're paid to do. Sorry. It's been noticed already by now.
Yeah, they all have their slant on things. There's no doubt about it.
Well, it pushes subliminal sales, for their advertisers. It pushes subliminal messaging on everybody that's watching it as well. So,
yes, indeed.
I figure if you're doing it for the right reason and subliminally mind raping people for the right reason, that's different than, for your own vices, I guess you could say. Because
Yeah, true that.
we're not on here for our own vices, are we?
Not at all.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Don't even say you're not on here for your own vices. Oh, go ahead. You got anything else for us on this? Like, well, let's drop this Ebola like a bad habit.
Yeah. No, and then you got. Let's see here. I was going to talk a little bit about. We got the election coming up. A week from tomorrow is the midterm elections, and I don't know about your area. Do you have different referendums that are proposed that you have to vote on as well as the candidates? You guys have that stuff down there where you are?
Propositions, yeah.
Yeah, propositions and so forth and so on.
That are running for the state. Yeah, they do have that vote as well. But
yeah. So we get this voter information handbook gets sent to all the voters in the state, right? And of course, the current Secretary of State's got a big, huge logo on there with his name all over the place, which is why his name should even be on this thing is beyond me. But Ralph Mollis, what a piece of shit he is. But anyway,
Go ahead.
but anyway, I'm looking at this. They got this higher education facilities bond. We have our state college, the University of Rhode Island, and they want to have money to to upgrade the campus and so forth and so on to keep up with the technology, which I'm not opposed to. But they're looking for $125 million to approve or reject by the voters, right? And then in the back of the pamphlet, it's got actually the total cost of what you're really going to be paying for this facilities bond. They're looking for $125 million, which is the principal. Now, over the course of time, you're going to have to add on $58 million in interest. So this project is actually going to cost $183, almost $184 million.
Wait, what is this project about again? Go back to the beginning.
It's about upgrading the University of Rhode Island. They want to build a new College of Engineering building on the campus and raise the old buildings and stuff, and support renovations of other buildings as well on our University of Rhode Island. That's a state university, right?
And that's going to cost $183 million.
Yeah, well, they're looking the bond that you're voting on. It says $125 million. Do you approve or reject this? You do it whatever you want to do. But the actual cost of these projects, when you look at the back of the pamphlet, they have the actual costs annotated here. And if people don't get to that last page, they're not going to see that this $125 million is actually over the course of the project, and the cost of paying back this bond will be $184 million approximately. So that's what we're really voting on. So that's the number. They should put the true number up there. We're asking for 125, but the true cost is $184 million. Now, how are you going to vote?
And I think that the university should pay for that, not everybody in the damn state.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, the university's got to be making enough money on its own to raise its own buildings. You know what I'm saying? Even if they do want to do a fundraiser, but they're paying the teachers to teach people at that university, but the university's got to be making money regardless.
Yeah. They got to hit up their the people that have graduated from there, and things like that. I agree with you.
I mean, and if it came down to it, do you think that most construction companies, besides, or let's just say construction companies and retailers of selling big, building materials, do you think both of those people would take a tax cut, just to do a job for a couple of weeks for free, putting a new building in at a college for the state? Do you think they would take a huge tax relief for that year just for doing that? Why do you need all that money? Huh? Just sounds like somebody's, brewing up another Fast and the Furious. I don't know.
But it's just, I just trying to encourage people to beware, what you're voting on, what they're saying. Like I said, they're listing the actual bond, but they're not, unless you, like I said, go back to the back of this article here, this pamphlet, and look at the actual cost, man. It's like blows your mind, man. Wow. So essentially, the total, the state's looking at, we got 7 referendum questions, right? If they're all approved, it's going to be $247 million worth of projects, and over the course of time, it's going to end up costing us $364 million with interest and so forth.
Oh yeah, I
big
forgot
number.
about that. I got to do that here for you, Godfather. You remember the little spiel I gave you before we were on air?
Yes,
You said it was 300 and some million, right?
yes.
Let's just put into perspective for everybody exactly how much $1 million is, okay?
Yeah,
Or
please do.
or a trillion, you know what I'm saying? If you had $1 million and spent it at a rate of $1,000 a day, you would run out of money in less than 3 years. If you had $1 billion and spent it at a rate of $1,000 a day, you would not run out for almost 3,000 years. And if you had
Wow.
1 trillion at a rate of $1,000 a day, when do you run out? 3 million years. That's for just $1 trillion. And so at a rate of 1,000 a day, we wouldn't run out of $1 trillion for 3 million years. Okay, that's
Oh
just
my God, that puts it in perspective.
well. I mean,
Wow.
didn't you say just to count to a trillion would
Yeah,
take you
yeah.
how
You heard
long?
someone mention it was actually someone. Yeah, it was at Dr. Carson. He was talking about the 17 billion plus or trillion plus that we currently owe. If you were to start counting today, $1 bill at a time, once you got up to 17 trillion, it would take about 500 years.
500 years, unbelievable.
That is a big number. That kind of puts it in perspective, man. That was
There is no way that we are ever going to pay any national debt. But let me ask you a question. What exactly does every family in America owe? Why do we owe that money, and who do we owe it to?
well, you owe it to the Chinese we've been borrowing from, like drunken
Why
sailors.
are we-
Sorry
why are
to
we-
put sailors down.
Why are we borrowing money again? I'm not sure I understand this concept. As a
Because
country.
we don't have a spending problem, we have a revenue problem.
What the hell is that? I've never heard of anything like that before. Especially when you're making the money yourself and then regulating the industry behind it, you know? Here we go
Yeah.
again with that pumpkin face. You got to stop that shit. I'm telling you. I
That was a
know.
little quote from Obama and Mr. Joe Biden.
Go ahead. What?
No, that comment I just made about we don't have a spending problem, it's a revenue problem.
Well, what's the difference? Revenue is money coming in.
Right, exactly. That's what they're saying.
If you're not bringing
Instead
any,
of cutting the damn spending like they should be doing, going line by line in the friggin' budget.
well, I think that what we should be doing more so is trying to figure out why America has a revenue problem. You see what I'm saying? Are you still there, Godfather? Did I lose you?
But to me, there is no revenue problem.
Well, there is a revenue problem. We don't have enough money. That we're not producing enough of anything to make money from other countries in the world. They've stopped all that. The government has stopped that. But yet they're continuing to spend tons and tons and tons of our hard-earned dollars that they call income tax. And you know that's where it's going. Plus your Social Security's going to Nazis overseas. You know, you got your VA that's not even taking care of your military after they get out. Pretty much the whole entire system has just crashed in front of our faces, and a lot of people are staring at the blue screen, going, "What's this memory dump?" Well, it's them losing all the files from the IRS and shredding paperwork on Fast and the Furious. Man, they're taking a note from Oliver North, and it really kind of sucks because even if me and you right now changed everything by scooping up or locking up everybody on Capitol Hill into that one building, lock all of this government up in one building and just leave them, you know, still, you know, the debt that we supposedly owe to the rest of the world is still way more than our 5 generations worth of grandchildren could possibly handle on just a number statement. So if you don't believe that we're headed into a crash, and we're about to become a third world country because of our monetary policy, which is banks regulating themselves, you gotta wake up, man. I mean, I know I'm not preaching to the teacher here now, apparently. The creature is preaching to the teacher.
It's all good, man.
It just blows my mind because 17 trillion, like you said, we'll never be able to pay that off. And how, and have you ever heard of a loan shark that's just like, yeah, well, don't worry about it. We'll get it next week. Yeah, you'll be all right. You know, I won't break your knees. I'm not going to take your kids, you know, or will I?
Yeah.
That's how loan sharks function, right?
Absolutely do. And if you don't pay it, we're going to come down there and bust you up.
Well, that's how the IRS works, at least. They show up, they